Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're tackling a concept called awarement.
Sounds kind of familiar, kind of new all at the same time, huh?
Exactly. It's about perception and awareness. What you see shapes your reality. We're working from a blog post for this one, and it pulls in some pretty interesting sources. Plato, the Gospel of Mary, even Yoda gets a shout out.
Oh, I love it when those unexpected connections pop up. It really shows how timeless these ideas are, right?
Absolutely. So what exactly is awarement? The author defines it as like that moment when you truly grasp your own awareness. You're not just perceiving anymore, you're really understanding.
That's an interesting distinction. I think a lot of people would say perception is a reality, right? This
Yeah.
seems to go a step further.
Right, right. And to illustrate that, the author shares this powerful story about a really scary experience he and his wife Tessie went through. It was life-threatening, and he describes it as a complete shift in his awareness, almost as if he was seeing the world for the first time.
Wow. I bet a lot of our listeners can relate to that in some way. We've all had those moments, right? Where something shakes you up and you see things differently afterwards.
Absolutely. Those moments can be incredibly powerful. And speaking of power, the blog post also quotes a passage from the Gospel of Mary, where Jesus talks about the mind being the key to seeing visions and discovering treasures.
So it's not just about passively observing, right? It's about actively engaging your mind to really understand what's real, not just what you perceive on the surface.
Exactly. It makes me think about Plato's Allegory of the Cave, which the author brings up too. Maybe some of our listeners are already familiar with it. But how would you explain how that connects to awarement?
Okay, so imagine you're a prisoner in a cave, chained up so you can only see shadows on the wall.
Right, that's your whole world.
Exactly. Then imagine you escape and you see the world outside the cave, the sunlight, the trees, the actual objects creating those shadows. It completely changes your understanding of reality.
It would rock your world. So the author seems to be saying achieving awarement is kind of like escaping that cave. You see the world in a whole new light, but then how do you convince everyone else who's still stuck in the cave?
Ooh, that's a tough one. It's a challenge we all face, right? How do we break free from those limited perceptions, both in ourselves, in the world around us?
It's a big question. And speaking of breaking free, you know what else the author threw in there? A quote from Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try.
Seriously, that's perfect. He gets it. It's all about taking action. You can't just try to be aware. You have to actively engage with the world and let those experiences shape your understanding. True awarement demands action.
It's like Yoda's giving us the cheat code.
Yeah.
And there's no room for passive observers on this quest.
It's like that saying, right? Actions speak louder than words. It's not enough to just think about awareness. You have to actually live it.
Yeah. And the author even goes on to talk about how awarement can change how you define success, like what it means to really succeed in life. It's easy to get caught up in chasing money or status or whatever, but he says those external markers don't always line up with what truly matters,
Oh, totally. Like what you thought was a big deal 5 years ago might seem kind of insignificant now, right? As you grow and experience new things, your whole perspective on success can shift.
Exactly. And the author actually shares an example from his own life about how his priorities totally changed after that experience with Tessie, the one we talked about earlier, the life-threatening one. It made him reevaluate what was truly important to him.
I can only imagine those kinds of moments have a way of shaking things up, making you reconsider your values and everything. Like, what am I really doing with my life? What actually brings me fulfillment?
It's deep stuff.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows that awarement isn't just a one-time thing, right? It's constantly evolving, changing based on your experiences and the choices you make.
Totally. And I think that's where the real power of awarement comes in. It helps you see beyond those surface level perceptions and expectations, It helps you connect with a deeper understanding of yourself and the world.
It's like leveling up your consciousness, right? Moving from just reacting to the world to actually engaging with it in a more meaningful way.
100%. And that brings us back to that idea that awarement is a journey, not a destination. You're always questioning, always challenging your perceptions, always searching for a deeper understanding.
Right, right. And it's not always easy, is it? The author even talks about how your ego can get in the way, like you get attached to your own stories and beliefs, even when they're not serving you anymore.
Oh, absolutely. We all have those blind spots, those comfortable little lies we tell ourselves. But as you develop awarement, you start to see those stories for what they are. You can examine them. You can choose to let them go.
You become the editor of your own narrative, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And that actually leads to another interesting point the author brings up, the connection between awarement and faith. He talks about how his own exploration of faith has been really intertwined with his journey of awarement.
That's fascinating. Makes you wonder, right? Is there a connection between this heightened awareness and like a deeper understanding of the spiritual realm?
Yeah. Could exploring your spirituality actually lead to greater awarement? Definitely something to think about. And the author doesn't shy away from the big questions either, like the meaning of life, your place in the universe, all that.
He even suggests that achieving awareness can actually equip you to tackle those questions in a more meaningful way. It's like you have a whole new set of tools to navigate those deep philosophical waters.
Like you're finally ready to dive in head first. And
Yeah.
it's not just about finding the answers, right? It's about being okay with the questions, embracing the mystery of it all.
Exactly. And acknowledging that the journey itself is just as important as the destination.
Right, right. It's about constantly learning, growing, expanding your understanding of yourself and the world.
And knowing that there's always more to discover, more to experience. It's not about reaching some final endpoint. It's about always seeking new perspectives, new insights.
That's what makes it so exciting. Awarement is a never-ending process of discovery, growth, transformation. You're always becoming. You're never finished.
It's like we're all on a quest for awareness, in a way. Each of us on our own unique path, but all striving for that same state of understanding, that higher level of awareness.
And who knows what we'll find along the way. It's a journey full of possibilities.
Now that's something to think about, right? This idea that awareness is a quest, an ongoing journey of discovery and growth. It really makes you wonder, where will your journey take you? And it sounds like a pretty challenging journey too. The author even points out that awareness can mean facing some hard truths about yourself and the world, things you might not want to see.
Oh, absolutely. He actually uses this really striking phrase, perception, I-S perception, to show how easy it is to get stuck in your own limited viewpoint. It's like building this echo chamber where your biases and preconceptions just get amplified over and over.
Yeah, you're just hearing the same things back at you, so you never really question them. And that can be dangerous, right? Because it stops you from seeing the bigger picture.
For sure. You end up seeing what you expect to see, not what's actually there. It's like if you're wearing glasses with the wrong prescription, everything looks distorted.
That's a great analogy. So awareness is like getting a new pair of glasses, helping you see things more clearly, more objectively.
Exactly. It's about stepping back and questioning your assumptions, even when it's uncomfortable. You have to be willing to let go of those old ways of seeing things.
Okay, but how do you do that?
Yeah.
It's easy to say, but actually changing your deeply held beliefs, that's tough.
It is tough, no doubt about it. It takes courage, But awarement kind of pushes you to be open to new information, new perspectives, even when they challenge what you thought you knew. It's about recognizing that the world is complex. There's not always a simple right or wrong answer.
So it's like constantly updating your mental map of reality, like adding new details, fixing the things that are wrong, making it bigger and more accurate.
That's a great way to put it. It's a process, not a finish line. You're never really done with awarement. You're always growing and evolving.
And that's what makes it so fascinating, right? This journey of self-discovery, of expanding your consciousness. It's like you're tapping into this whole other level of human potential, this capacity for deeper understanding and connection.
Absolutely. And it all starts with a simple question. What if your perception isn't the whole story? What if there's more to reality than you're seeing right now?
That's a powerful question. It kind of sums up the whole idea, doesn't it? Awarement is about pushing beyond your comfort zone, challenging your assumptions, and being open to a more expansive way of experiencing the world.
It's an invitation to really wake up, to engage with life on a whole new level. So as we wrap up this deep dive, think about what really resonated with you today. What new insights did you gain about awarement?
And how can you apply those insights to your own life, your choices, your relationships, the way you interact with the world around you? Remember, awarement is a personal journey, but it has the power to change everything.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep seeking that deeper understanding. And who knows, maybe you'll discover a whole new world right in front of you.